wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. Change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating.
Oh, yo. What is up, people? Let's go. Yo. If I had nothing to say, it might be everything you hate. Still the same. Taste the blame. Double espresso. Let's go. I can't remember myself. I can't remember myself. It's in the way. Yeah, let's go. I'm tripping, I'm tripping. I'm tripping, I'm tripping, I'm tripping. I'm tripping, I'm tripping, I'm tripping. I'm tripping, I'm tripping, I'm tripping. Let's go. I've been here a while, but I won't unpack. I give you my all, but I want it back. Maybe I'm crazy, but I see it in you, you and me. Tell me who could be let me. Let's go. It could be anything. Me strange. It could be anything. Yeah, we're gonna look at that Trump fucker. Tripping. I'm tripping. Wait. Whoa, 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 whoa! Let's go. All right. Didn't know I was in a band. Dude, yeah, that's what my whole, like, that was my primary creative endeavor for most of my life. Actually, finishing it off as a one-man indie rock band touring the country till my son was born. But, yeah, man. Used to love playing music. Actually, that's a stretch. I loved being on stage, and there were times I loved playing music, but I was not the purest musician. You know, I kind of found the creative process, like, sometimes incredibly rewarding and sometimes, like, highly stressful. But I have no regrets. I got to see the whole country, and though I never really made a living doing it, I did, it did enrich me in numerous ways, right? You like the dance party song? Yeah, that's a good one. That's 𝗙ecie 𝗏𝗏 from Sweden. So how we doing? I mean, we had an interesting day today, right? Obviously, we're going to look at some of this shit, right? Yeah. So, dude, you're talking about what? Trump and the Antichrist? All right. Well, I don't know that we have to worry about that. I mean, we know that Trump is not remotely religious. If there was a such thing as God, like, Trump would most certainly be on the negative side of that adventure. Right? You know, he would, dude. Oh, shit. There's nothing godlike about Trump. The only thing godlike about Trump is, like, goddamn, right? That's about the only godlike thing with Donald Trump. Goddamn, what a piece of shit that motherfucker is. But so today, though, I thought today was really interesting because let's just do a tiny recap of one of the things that I thought was most interesting today was how he had a big executive order about pharma. And did you see what he did? No. I mean, that's exactly it. Nobody saw what he did because he did it in a closed Oval Office. Why, pray tell? Because of the Epstein birthday book. Okay, Trump did not want to field reporters' questions in the Oval Office for a full press pool. So he signed his big pharma executive order, and he did it in private, behind closed doors, because he's rattled, because the Epstein book has him on his heels. Okay, so that is the way the day started. Then he goes out and his little like dog and pony show to go out in DC, and some reporters did ask him some stuff where, again, he refers to the Epstein thing as nonsense, right? The guy is just painting digging a hole for himself. Caroline Leavitt was wearing a cross and lying through her fucking teeth like she always does about the same subject. Maggie Haberman kind of tried to pin her down. But then, yes, Code Pink was waiting in that restaurant. So Trump goes into that steakhouse, and I don't know if you know Code Pink, but they are some like revolutionary women that have done a lot of the climate protesting, and they do some really good sort of in your face protesting. And so you could see Trump was rattled. They were singing about, like, chanting about Palestine and about Trump being Hitler, which is especially fucking, I think, amazing considering that J.D. Vance was in the room dressed like Trump with his little clown Trump suit on. And of course, J.D. Vance is the one who called Trump America's Hitler. So, man, dude, it was good. All right. It was just a good day. That was a W move. We are going to look at all that. We're going to look at that for sure. We are also going to watch a little bit of her take tonight because they were talking about the Epstein files. And I'm really curious what that set of like red pillars are doing. Right. And so dude, let's go. Right. Did I compare the pic with the house and Mar-a-Lago? I did not see his video on that. But like, dude, we know that Mar-a-Lago was central to this thing. I mean, it's a given, man. It's a given, dude. Epstein was pulling women, right? Epstein was pulling young ladies from Mar-a-Lago for years, okay? They were using that as one of their primary talent sites, but I have not seen it. He's taken the cartoon. Is that it? The building in the cartoon is Mar-a-Lago? Because that seems accurate, right? Dude, fuck Mar-a-Lago. Fuck Trump. Fuck these clowns, bro. Seriously. Dude, Leavitt. Oh, you really want to go to town on Caroline Leavitt? All right, she is a scoundrel. Okay, she is. Dude, let's be honest. Let's be honest, dude. Caroline Leavitt is a fucking scoundrel. Yeah, I mean, dude, that drawing, though, like, I just made a video on that drawing. It's the current video that is, like, the most recent video. I just put it out at, like, 9:30 tonight. Let me just tell you that drawing was, like, everything. And the fact that one of his friends knew that drawing, everyone in that book knew about that drawing, except for his parents. Okay, his parents, you know, Paula and Seymour, right? The very beginning when his mom wrote about him and his dad, obviously they probably were not privy to this shit, but all of his friends, all of the people that were contributors to that book knew about that cartoon. Every one of them did. They all knew, okay? They all knew. There was no doubt. There was no secrets for him. So, all right, let's start with the Trump avoidance here, okay? Let's start with that. because I think this is very telling. Margot Martin posted a thing here. Okay, now this is Trump's big fucking event here. Look at this. Look at this right here, dude. Look at it. She posted this today at 3:43 p.m. But look at the scene there, okay? You got fucking RFK Jr. and Trump in the Oval Office. They're having a big, right? They're having, hold on. I want to use my wireless mouse. But look at this. She announces President Trump signs the most significant action in a generation, she says, to rein in misleading pharmaceutical ads. Now, again, this is an EO. One might ask, hey, if he really wanted to do once in a generation legislation, wouldn't Congress pass a law? Yeah, you would think. But he's not governing by passing a law because Congress can't pass shit, even though they have all the chambers. They still can't pass anything because Republicans can't govern. But what's epic about this, guys, is the fact that Donald Trump is afraid to face questions. Okay, they did not have the press pool in here, guys. They did not have the press pool. They did you know what I mean? Think about that. Trump signs the most significant action in a generation, and he signs it without the press there for him to gloat. Huh. Interesting, isn't it? You know why? Epstein. He's afraid. He is afraid of the press, guys. He is afraid of the press. And why? Why, pray tell? Well, let me tell you why. Because he is all over the Epstein files. He's a dirty, degenerate, grubby child groper. Okay? And he knows that we're all onto him. He knows that letter, the Epstein letter, is very damning. And in fact, earlier today, Maggie Haberman went to town a little bit on Caroline Leavitt. Let's watch this clip. Okay? Let's watch this clip. You ready? Here we go. Dude, Caroline Leavitt, can I just say, she doesn't look well. Okay? You may have noticed Caroline Leavitt. She doesn't look well, dude. She did look annoyed, yes. She's starting to, I don't know, I feel like she's sort of painting herself in. You know, I mean, lying every day and you know, especially being a Christian liar, it's got to be taxing, okay? You know what I'm saying? She can feel the hellfire just licking at her fucking orifices, right? She's obviously aging pretty quick. I feel like there's probably some Botox needles that are going to be slammed into that face pretty soon, right? Her Botox level is probably getting close to Laura Ingraham levels. Seriously, she's going to look like a fucking swollen mouse. And, you know, by next year at this time, dude, she's literally going to look like Laura Loomer, okay? She's probably going to start drinking. Absolutely. She's probably going to start drinking. All right? So you ready? Here we go. Watch this.
So what is the theory, since these documents came from the Epstein estate? Who is I guess, in your view, faking these documents?
I did not say the documents are a hoax. I said the entire narrative surrounding Jeffrey Epstein right now that is absorbing many of the liberal cable channels on television is a hoax that is being perpetuated by opportunistic Democrats like Ro Khanna and the others whom you saw on that press conference outside of Capitol Hill.
Dude, first off, dude, what the fuck happened to her top lip, bro? I mean, I know she's never had a top lip, but now it looks like she had like some Black Forest ham or something installed up there. Dude, what is going on? I mean, I don't want to judge, but I'm going to. There is something going on, dude. She has ham taped to her lip. All right, something's happening with that top lip. But can we just point out, did you see what she said there? Oh, she's like, the documents aren't a hoax. But the narrative, what is Ro Khanna's narrative? His narrative was, let's hear from the victims and let's release the files. How is that a narrative? Oh, is the narrative the fact that Trump is scared to death to release these things because 1,000 FBI agents went through the goddamn files? and they found something that's got him and Bongino and Cash Patel and Pam Bondi so spooked that they're like frightened turtles retreating into their shells? Would that be the narrative? Or is it the narrative that Trump is a child groper and everybody knows it? Like, dude, something's going on here, okay? But she is, you see how she's like, well, wait a second, the documents aren't a hoax. Because the problem with this birthday book that is really fucking them up is they were insisting this thing didn't exist, but this thing came from the Epstein estate, okay? It did not come from Democrats. It didn't even come from victims. It came from the executors that are managing the Epstein estate. So this is actual Epstein possessions. They cannot deny the reality of the documents and the items they're getting from the Epstein estate. They can't, okay? And that puts them in a little bit of a pickle because they had spent a lot of time and a lot of mental energy going off about how this was totally fake. This thing didn't even exist. And you're right, Layla. There's a lot more coming out. We are just scratching the surface because you know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for witnesses to this book to start appearing. Okay? Yeah, they are going to fucking get into it, but let's hear where she goes from here.
Who are trying to push this hoax against the President of the United States.
What exactly is the hoax? I'm just trying to understand what's fake. What's fake is not the documents.
The hoax is the Democrats pretending to care about victims of crime when they do not care about victims of crime, when they have done nothing to solve crimes, when they have done nothing to lock up child pedophiles and child rapists across the country.
So now she's trying to open that up. You notice what they're doing here. Because crime is their little buzzword, they pivoted their immigration to crime, okay? Because they realized a Gestapo harassing immigrants wasn't working. It was destroying their approval. So now they're like, you know what? We're solving crime. Oh, we're solving crime. Oh, let Trump in. Oh, he's going to grope your daughter and then tell her he's solving crime, right? So now she pivoted, Democrats have done nothing to put child molesters in jail. Well, wait a second, though, Caroline Leavitt. Pardon me, let me remove that ham from your top lip for 1 second to remind you, you lying sack of shit, that it was Democrats that put Ghislaine Maxwell in prison, okay? So, you dumb bitch, shut the fuck up, all right? It was the Democrats that put Ghislaine Maxwell in prison. Okay, that pederast and groomer is in prison because of the Democrats. Okay, and if we had our way, Trump would be in prison too. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court and a bunch of fucking inbred motherfuckers from the Midwest who voted for that asshole prevented us from putting that pedophile in prison. But can we please stop, with her insulting the Democrats, saying we don't take care of things. Like, goddamn, if we put all the pedophiles in jail, they wouldn't even be able to reach a quorum in the fucking Congress, bro. Half the Republican Party would be doing special elections in about fucking 6 weeks. All right? Dude, what the fuck?
He didn't sign these. If you said he didn't sign the birthday card, he didn't do this, he also didn't do the check, those were in documents from the estate. So what is the working theory as to why he's in them?
The president has one of the most famous signatures in the world, and he has for many, many years. You know that, Maggie, you've covered him for a long time, long before he assumed this office when he was a businessman in New York. The president did not write that letter. He did not sign those documents. He maintains that position, and that position will be argued in court by his lawyers. The president is very confident he is going to win this case.
Dude, he's not going to win this case. All right, for starters, we know that that's his signature. We have the fucking proof of the signature. Like, come on, Caroline. I know you're maintaining that shit, but here we go. There we go, Caroline Leavitt. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. There we go. The Epstein card, 1995 letter to Lillian Volk, a 99 letter to Larry King. We also have documents from Hillary Clinton, right? We just have a lot of shit. And we know that Donald Trump's signature circa 1990 to 2000, early 2000s was the Donald and the line. Okay, that was his signature. That was his primary one. Right? That was it. Okay, dude, that was it. There are 2 Donald signatures in that book. Not really, Scorpion, because the other signature on that check, right? The other signature on that check, I think, was not written by Donald. If you look at the check, right? We can look at this. If you look at the check, this is them. They wrote this, okay? This isn't Trump's signature here. This is Epstein and these guys making a fake check as though Trump had written them a check. This was them kind of like clowning with Trump, but this was not him writing this check. I think they made this to do the photo op to sort of like joke about Trump buying the woman, right? But this wasn't actually Trump involved with this. It's a prank on Trump, right? And in fact, guys, I think, you know what I think this play is? Can I just tell you, like thinking about this and thinking about how Epstein is, I think this is a sloppy seconds thing, guys. Yes, absolutely what Bingewood just said. This is sloppy seconds. This is like, I wondered if this wasn't about Melania, right? That's what I wondered, if it wasn't a shot about Melania where Epstein, because look at his face. Look at the smugness on his face. Now, I'm sure they're talking about the girl with the redacted thing, but I kind of thought by looking at the smugness of Epstein's face that it was a shot at Melania, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the phrase he used in the thing? It was, dude, hold on. Let me find the thing. Okay, if we go in there, the phrase he used was pretty wild. Okay. Give me 1 sec here to pull it up. Oh, it's right after the animals. Yeah, so the phrase was fully depreciated, okay? Fully depreciated, as in you drove it off the lot, okay? You drove it off the lot and it has lost all its value. Now, there was a woman here involved in this thing that was the fully depreciated woman, but I think there was a double shot here at not only was Trump a trafficker and a woman buyer, because he was, dude, Trump Models was trafficking women from Eastern Europe, but I thought this was a shot at Melania. I thought this was a shot at Melania, right? Where basically, you know what I'm saying? I thought this was a shot at Melania where Epstein was kind of like ribbing him for Trump having gotten sloppy seconds. Okay? Trump got sloppy seconds because Epstein was banging Melania, and then she goes and leaves Epstein and goes and sleeps with Trump and becomes his wife. And Epstein's like, ha, dude, you're marrying my sloppy seconds. Isn't that funny? That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. You know, that's kind of the vibe, because look at his face, dude. Look at Epstein's face here. There is so much gloat in this face. It is like a lot of gloat in that face. Like a lot of it. And I didn't realize it at first when I saw the thing, but when I went back and sort of studied this today when I was making a thumbnail, I was like, holy shit. I think he is totally like needling Trump. Now, I don't know, this was 2002, right? This was 2002 or 2003. 2003 with this birthday. Now, think about this. In 2004 was when Trump went behind Epstein's back and used that Russian money to buy that estate and outbid. So is it possible that, Epstein gave Trump sloppy seconds with Melania and then rubbed it in his face with this kind of like, ego poking joke, and then Trump goes behind his back to buy this property with the Russian money, and then Epstein goes behind Trump's back to find out that Trump is laundering money, and then Trump helps sell him out to the FBI and like, hey man, you're going to end up in prison. And then they finally pull back on the brakes and 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗆 lets him off. And then Trump rectifies that with the cabinet position later. Like, dude, I mean, this could very well be, right? This could very well be a deeper sort of motif behind this. Because the thing about these guys that we know with, at least with Donald Trump, is Donald Trump is like, his ego is like so frail. Okay. He gets rattled so easy. Remember the Qatari jet, the reporter who asked about that, and for like 20 minutes, he could not bring it up. I mean, they get so rattled. These guys, when they're that wealthy and have that much power, they are literally, their egos are so big that like you fucking flick their ego and it fucking shatters them, dude. It really does. It fucks them up so much. So I don't know. I know maybe that's a tinfoil hat theory, but I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. I mean, there is a smugness here that's insane. Now, I'm curious who the redacted girl is, and maybe we'll try to find that out. But I was thinking about that today, that, man, I think that maybe, right? So what did it said? It said Jeffrey showing early talents with money and women, sells fully depreciated blank to Donald Trump for $22,500. Showed early people skills too. Even though I handled the deal, I didn't get any of the money on the girl, right? That is pretty fascinating. Yeah. I know the name is redacted and the face is redacted, but I'm really intrigued who the woman is and even who the other picture are in there, but that's definitely a jab at Trump. And it looks like this is at Mar-a-Lago too, right? How likely do I think it is that Melania is still collecting checks? I don't know. I mean, was she ever collecting checks? I mean, the estate is really, that fund is about abuse victims. So I don't know if she's garnering any money from that. I'm sure that if her and Epstein were an item and then she bounced from him to be with Trump, I'm sure there's a little weird blood there, because Epstein had a lot of ego too. So, you know what I'm saying? But this is super bizarre. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Super, super fucking bizarre. Heavily redacted. I thought that was fucking interesting, huh? Right? Dude, a lot of ego with these guys. All of these guys, a lot of ego. But that's definitely Trump's signature. And this implication from Caroline Leavitt that, right? This implication from Caroline Leavitt that Trump is somehow going to win that lawsuit. Like, that is a joke, man. All right, now I want to get a little bit of information here. We're going to look at Caroline Leavitt's, I want to see, here's more of her praying. Dude, Caroline Leavitt praying before she goes out there. What are you praying for, Caroline Leavitt? Right? Miss Leavitt, are you praying to be forgiven for being a dirty, lying, like, scoundrel? All right, here we go. Let's see the one about the check. All right, this is about that said check. Here we go.
One of the other documents released by the House Oversight Committee contained a photo of Jeffrey Epstein holding an oversized check that was made out to him in the check from the president.
Now, can we point out here that obviously the check was not made out by Trump? It was made out by Epstein. Okay, the check was a fucking jab at Trump. Now, I'm sure Caroline Leavitt here is going to say, oh, he didn't sign that. But nobody cares who fucking signed it. We care about the fact that Trump, there was some type of joking nature between him and the world's largest sex trafficker, that, you know, Trump buying a fully depreciated woman was a joke. The fact that that was a joke says a lot about Trump, about his character, right? If somebody wrote that about me, it wouldn't make anyone laugh because I don't buy women. I've never trafficked any women. I don't pay for sex, right? It wouldn't be a joke. Everybody who knows me would be like, that's not funny. Why? What are you even talking about, right? But when you do it about Trump, everyone knows exactly what they're talking about, you know?
For $22,000 for a fully depreciated woman. I wondered if the president has any recollection of that, or what do you guys make of that photo that was included in those documents?
Did you see the signature on that check? It is not Donald Trump's signature.
Yeah, we're not saying it's Donald Trump's signature, the Caroline Leavitt, but she's missing the point. The point is not about whose signature. It's obviously that Jeffrey Epstein wrote that name. The point is the joke about buying women when told about selling a woman to Trump was something that was hilarious to these people.
It is absolutely not. The president did not sign that check.
Yeah, thank you, Caroline. Dude, she is stressed, though, right? She is so stressed. Like, oh, here we go. Remember this? Oh, look at that. Remember when these guys were holding up the Epstein file? You got DC Drano. You got 𝗙𝗍𝗍, right? Fucking, whatever his name is, Chad Prather, Jack White Supremacy Posobiec, fucking Liz Wheeler, right? Scott Pressler, bunch of fucking psychos, fucking clowns. Remember them? Look at them. They're all dressed up. They're all smiling. Hey, yay, Epstein files. Where are they now? They've all gone mute, haven't they? Yeah, dude, she is stressed. Dude, Caroline Leavitt, she is so stressed. All right. Let's see if there's another take here. Oh, here we go, dude. It looks like Mike Johnson got thrown under the bus. You ready?
You know, Mike Johnson, he came out and said that the president was an FBI informant. Do you know what he meant by that?
Oh, look at this.
You know, Mike Johnson, he came out and said that the president was an FBI informant. Do you know what he meant by that, if it's not true?
I can affirm that is not true. I think the speaker was referring to the fact that President Trump kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of his Mar-a-Lago property.
You know, Mike.
Dude, look at how fucking stressed she is. Look at her. Look at her face, bro. Dude, we can confirm that, yes, Trump is not an FBI informant. We knew that. I would also like to note that Trump himself said he kicked Epstein out when he found out that Epstein had recruited Virginia Giuffre from his spa. But we should point out that Virginia Giuffre was recruited in 2000, and Trump kicked Epstein out of the club in 2007. So somewhere there, Virginia Giuffre got recruited, Trump found out about it and got angry. And then 7 years later, he he kicked Epstein out of the club. Huh. Oh, that is quite the fucking lag time right there. Right? That is quite the lag time. Yeah, so I'm using the phrase recruited because this idea of stealing is like women are not property, okay? Nobody was stolen, right? They're not property, right? She was recruited. She was right? You know what I mean? But dude, 7 years is quite the lag time for these motherfuckers. That is crazy. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Oh, we've seen that one. Oh, here we go.
And the Epstein files are back in the news because a lot of Americans feel that that Jeffrey Epstein's victims never got justice. Does the president care about these victims? Do you think he can does he want to deliver more justice for them? And is he willing to meet with them?
The president cares about victims of all crimes, and that's why...
Oh, did you see that? She just, all lives mattered it. She just did all lives matter. You see that? He said, does he want to deliver justice for the Epstein victims? Would he be willing to meet with the Epstein victims? And she said he is concerned about victims of all crimes. All crimes matter. Dude, what was that, bro? She actually did all lives matter. She just literally like BLM'd the Epstein victims. 1,000 young women raped by these motherfuckers. 1,000. And she all lives mattered them. What a fucking degenerate.
Do you think he can does he want to deliver more justice for them? And is he willing to meet with them?
The president cares about victims of all crimes, and that's why Republicans in the Trump Department of Justice have done more in terms of transparency when it comes to the Epstein case than any prior administration. And why are the Democrats all of a sudden caring about this? It's because they are desperately trying to concoct a hoax to smear the president of the United States. We have seen this time and time again.
Dude, concoct what? There were fucking 10 women who spoke at a press conference. Nobody's concocting anything. Trump said he was going to release the files. It was part of his election promises. All of the MAGA people are waiting. Then they looked at Trump's name in the files. Then they turned tail. We've concocted nothing. Release the goddamn files. And then it's over. Why won't you release them? Oh, because you're in them. We know why you're not releasing them, because Trump is guilty. We know. Come on. Dude, what the fuck, bro?
Ro Khanna and all of these other Democrats, they could have cared about those victims 4 years ago.
They did. I mean, you know, the DOJ did. They put Ghislaine Maxwell in prison. Okay.
When Joe Biden was in office, they could have pushed for transparency then.
Well, no, because they were prosecuting Ghislaine Maxwell. And then after she went to prison, she started a series of appeals. Okay. So like, you're not going to release information during an active appeal. Nobody's going to do that. You can't do that. The only thing that complicated it is now this came up again and she's angling for a pardon. She's committing perjury with Trump's personal lawyer, and now she's in a minimum security getting her sentence overturned by one of the fucking rapists. So now it's all shot to hell. And now we just want to see it because Trump promised everything and then he backed out. Okay? He backed out, man.
Unfortunately, the Democrats are using victims as political pawns to try to smear and to push a hoax against the president of the United States.
Okay, so you want a dance goal? Let's do a dance goal. Let's go. Let's get a dance. See, I want to know what the hoax is, because she just said there that the Democrats are trying to like create a hoax against the president of the United States. But what is the hoax? She won't define what the hoax is. Okay, none of these people will define what the hoax is, you know?
and to push a hoax against the President of the United States pawns to TV then. Unfortunately, the Democrats are using victims as political pawns to try to smear and to push a hoax against the President of the United States. And I will get you numbers on the amount of child predators that this administration and this FBI and this Department of Justice have locked up.
Yeah, nobody cares about the other child predators. There are no child predators, Caroline Leavitt, that you could lock up that are going to make us forget about the Epstein predators. Okay, like great. You've locked up some other child predators that we don't care about. Now we want you to lock up the ones that we do care about. Okay, right?
Under President Trump's leadership, we have done more than any president to protect victims of crime, especially disgusting, heinous sexual crimes. And that includes the deportation of illegal aliens.
Oh, yeah, which again is a subject nobody's even talking about there,
who
Caroline.
Are perpetrating these crimes against innocent victims in our country right now today, and that remains a top priority for this administration.
Does the president
Dude, look at her though, bro. Dude, she's not well, guys. Yeah, I have not seen her look this rattled in a while. All right, let's pivot over to Trump, okay? Let's pivot over to Trump because, right, we need to see Trump's fucking take on this. Like, obviously, here we go. Look at this. Here's more of the signatures. We got the Epstein letter. We got Larry King. We got Hillary Clinton. We got Stephen DeLauro, right? Blair Cameron, Robert Davidoff, Keith Olbermann in 2014. Okay, Jane Volk, Lillian Jane Volk, and George Conway. Plenty of Trump swish signatures. Plenty of them. Okay, we know that's his signature. But we do have to look at Trump's, right? We do have to look at Trump's little, we have to look at Trump's comment about Epstein here. We're going to get to the Code Pink. We're going to get to the Palestinian protesters, but let me go to 𝗏𝗏 real quick because I thought it was very interesting when Trump went onto the streets of D.C. and everybody, right, they started asking him about Epstein because he avoided it all day, okay? Here it is, okay? We saw this one.
It's not my signature, and it's not the way I speak. And anybody that's covered me for a long time know that's not my language. It's nonsense. And frankly, you're wasting your time. All you do is trying to get off the great success of D.C. and about 200 other things we've done that are so successful. This is a great, great success, and we have so many. I don't think any president in their first 8 months has had anywhere near the success that we've had.
Dude, it's amazing, right? Because you hear the protesters shouting in the background. First off, look at J.D. Vance here. He's doing the clown suit where he's dressed like Trump with the red tie. You see him doing the mimicking, okay? He does this a lot. They'll do it sometimes where when they go on TV, they mimic him, right? They dress like him but J.D. Vance just doesn't know how to put a fucking suit on without looking like uncomfortable. But yeah, dude, he's terrible. He said it's nonsense. He said it's a waste of time and it's trying to detract from his success. And then he threw out there 200 because he signed 200 executive orders. But most of those executive orders are just him blathering. Right? They are. They're him blathering. Thank you, 𝗙𝗏𝗏. So let's go. They're literally just Trump. Hold on. We're going to do a couple more because we had several donos. There we go. Let's go. They're literally just blathering. Right? You know what I'm saying? He is just like running his mouth. But yeah, that was not convincing at all. Not convincing at all. Then there's another one here, okay, where they ask him about meeting with the Epstein victims. End grain. Let's go, baby. Now, I do have a comment about the Epstein victims because I don't think Trump should be meeting with these victims. You know what I'm saying? I literally don't think that that's a good idea. I feel like it would be triggering for some. Although, as much as I would like to see Maria Farmer in the room with Trump so she could literally, can you imagine if she asked him on camera? If she asked him, so that night you came into Epstein's office and you were looking at me like I was a piece of meat, and Epstein came out and said she's not here for you and then took you in the back room. What did you do in that back room? Right? Oh my God, that would be amazing. I feel like it would be a huge risk of him meeting with the victims. But let's see what he says here.
Will you meet with the Epstein victims? Do you plan to meet with?
I don't know about, nobody suggested that. Certainly I don't like that whole situation with respect to anybody being abused or hurt, but I haven't even thought about that. Thank you all very much. Have a good time. Thank you.
Have a good time is what he says. Dude, Sam, let's go. Dude, you see that? Dude, what a response, guys. Did you see that response? He said, I haven't really thought about it. I'm broken up by people who've been abused, but I've never even thought about meeting them. Thank you very much. Have a good time. Dude, there's protesters cheering in the background, right? Chanting. There's protesters chanting in the background. Oh my God, bro. Jesus. Tell you what, Trumpy, when I take this fucking like metal rod and cram it up my ass, I'll be sure to put a condom on it. Right? Have a good time. Oh Lord, dude. Martine, thank you. Let's go. Jesus, bro. Dude, yeah. We're about to watch the protesters. Dude, you know, dude, and what's crazy is him saying like, you know, how, oh, it's so safe here in DC, but look at this. Dude, he's got fucking 20 like Secret Service cars surrounding the building, right? There's snipers on the roof. Like, dude, there's nowhere Trump goes that is safe. Dude, his own people want to kill him. You know what I mean? We got Tim Burchett here. Dude, end grain! No way, baby! Oh, let's go! Let's go, baby! Dude, we're gonna smack our bitch up! Right? Elon's my bitch. Smacking my bitch up. Wasn't 𝗙់•Seth in the background? Yes. Yeah, 𝗙់•Seth was fucking over here. Dude, you got 𝗙់•Seth, you got Marco Rubio, and you got JD Vance looking perpetually uncomfortable. That's a great way of putting it. Dude, he always just looks like his mother dressed him. You know what I'm saying? Dude, the incel crew, these guys are definitely incels, right? Dude, definitely incels. All right. So we definitely, right? I feel like there's one more clip I want to show. I guess we'll save that. The domestic violence one is a clip that I think is worthy to, right? I think is worthy to talk about, because there were some comments. Dude, Scorpion, let's go, baby. There were some comments made about Trump, by Trump, about domestic violence, which was gnarly. But let's go ahead and like look at the protests first, okay? Dude, the protest was some good shit. It really was. Ugh. Israel bombing Qatar? Yeah. No, I know. I mean, dude, all kinds of shit's going on internationally. You got Israel bombing Qatar, right? You got Israel bombing Qatar, and then you had fucking Russia like sending drones over Poland, which is like defying NATO, okay? You know what I mean? I mean, dude, what the fuck is going on? It's pretty clear that nobody internationally respects Trump at all. Like zero respect, right? It would have never happened if Biden was president. You know, I mean, dude, we know this. All I could think about, you know, the only thing I could think about, guys, when I heard about him squawking over Qatar, I even left a comment, dude, because, dude, Brutus, let's go, baby. Oh, shit, 9/11's tomorrow? That's unfortunate. But I couldn't help but think about this, guys. Let me show you. Right here. Right? This is what I thought about as soon as I found out about this.
The Israeli strike earlier today.
Well, I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled about it. I don't have to do that. I'm not thrilled about the whole situation. It's not a good situation. But I will say this: we want the hostages back, but we are not thrilled about the way that went down today.
We are not thrilled. I'm not happy, but all I could think about was this, right? That's what I thought about when I saw that clip, right? Was we know he's not thrilled because he is Benjamin Netanyahu's like chair fluffer. Same for Putin, right? Trump's not thrilled that he has to eat a fucking bowl of shit every time they make a move, right? You know what I mean? Dude, that is fucking classic, isn't it? Dude, and again, what I said there too, Trump is worried he might not get the plane, right? That's what he's really worried about. He's worried about like, oh, fuck. If Netanyahu attacks Qatar, are they still going to give me the plane? Right? Am I still getting that jet? Right? Oh, shit. I think I might lose the jet. That's what he's worried about. All right. Let's go in and see the code pink. Shall we? Because, so let me just tell you this. Okay? We know that we've had some discussions in here about, some discussions in here about Gaza, about the genocide, about the left trying to find a way to work together even when people have different views on it. Now, I was happy today, guys, to see the code pink women being vocal inside this restaurant. And let me tell you why, because I have been profoundly disappointed that the Palestinian protests sort of ceased under Trump. Okay? I was really disappointed because I was like, wait a second, why are they stopping? Why are people no longer protesting this? Was it simply an instrument being used to harm the Democratic Party? Or do we still really believe that this is fucking problematic? And then, Israel taking the West Bank is like, we should still be protesting this guy. Because it's gotten worse, okay? He's turned his back more. He's made insinuations about building hotels in Gaza, the Trump Gaza video and all that bullshit, saying that Israel can take the West Bank too. Like the fact that protests stopped, I was pissed. I'm like, dude, that's fucked up. So seeing today was like, yes, this is what I wanted to see. Now, this is great because here's Trump before he goes into the restaurant. Look at him. He's out there raising his fist, like a tough guy. JD Vance is here looking awkward. Pete fucking, 𝗙𝗪𝗏 is there looking like a rapist and wondering, is there an open bar? Am I going to be able to get shitty here? Is there right? Like 𝗙𝗪𝗏 is wondering if there's a woman that he can rape in there, right? Sign up to an NDA. He's probably got his lawyer like 10 steps behind him. But yeah, dude, there's nobody there. The only people there were people protesting and yelling at him. You could hear them when the reporters were talking to him. There were no crowds there for him. There were a bunch of Secret Service cars because everybody in DC, for the most part, hates this man. I mean, he's going to go into this club, Joe's, where it's probably all rich white people, and some of the people in there like him because he gives them tax cuts and tells them that all the poor people are terrible and that they're like the chosen ones. But for the most part, nobody in DC likes Trump. If there was an election there that voted for president, he would fucking get 0 fucking votes, bro. He would only get the votes of the people in Congress that have made Washington their fucking home address, dude. Seriously. Everybody fucking hates him. But anyway, so he goes in, and one of the first things that we saw, okay, right? One of the first things that I saw was this clip, okay? Look at this clip right here, dude. This one is great.
What do you want your legacy to be? Let's go. What do you want your legacy to be? Trump is a Hitler on one time. What do you want your legacy to be?
Dude, look at that. Dude, he is flustered. Now, this obviously is at the end, right? This is at the very end when he's like, yeah, get him out there. We're going to watch the earlier videos now. One of the women from Code Pink actually made her own video about this, and there were several other diners, so you can see the whole thing. But what I liked about that is it showed him how he's flustered, okay? He had all day. He had his big pharma EO signing that he couldn't share with anyone because he's afraid of the press now. Caroline Leavitt was getting bulldozed trying to lie her way out of the Epstein birthday book. Now he goes out to dinner to have a big shindig about how I saved DC, and he's literally getting protested, and women are fucking shitting on him on camera. His big moment of I'm out in DC, I've saved this city, and he's getting pissed on by the Code Pink women. Dude, they fucked him up so bad. And you could just see him frustrated.
What do you want your legacy to be? Let's go.
Dude, it's so good. Dude, let's go. Ashif, let's go, baby. All right, you ready? All right, Code Pink, let's watch one of the women from Code Pink in here. This one. All right, here we go. So as where is the woman? The woman. There it is, Medea. Okay, this is Medea Benjamin. All right, she's one of the founders of Code Pink. We're gonna watch her video. Oh, Trump is the Hitler of our time. But yes, now obviously, guys, if you station armed military fucking, armored cars on every street, you could put armored cars in a neighborhood if there's crime, and the crime's gonna move, okay? It's not gonna disappear, it's going to move, okay? Crime didn't disappear in DC, it just moved to wherever the soldiers weren't. And they didn't put the soldiers in the crime-ridden neighborhoods, they put them by the Capitol. They put them in fucking Georgetown, of all places, which has like no fucking crime, okay? But the point is we don't want to live in a militarized state where there's an armored car parked on every fucking street corner, okay? Because that's not going to eliminate crime. That's just going to move the crime to the part of the state where there aren't armored cars. Like, hello, crime moves. It's like crime is an education and a poverty situation. Okay? It's a social class, poverty and education and lack of services situation. All right? When there's no resources and there's no fucking like comfortable means of survival, crime exists in order where people are trying to meet their needs. Okay? And then the other place crime exists is where people are extraordinarily wealthy and power and overcome by greed. And then crime exists as a result of their greed, right? But that kind of crime, the greed crime, never gets fucking punished. Okay? It doesn't. It never gets punished. They pay a small fine that is negligible compared to what they have stolen. And then they move on with their lives. Because if you're wealthy, crime is legal. Okay? It's doable, right? You do it, you get a slap on the old wrist, you pay a little bit of the money you stole, AKA you share the wealth, and then you're fucking let off. You know what I'm saying? So this shit is nonsense. All right, but anyway, let's watch 𝗙𝗆𝗆 video here.
Trump is the Hitler of our time. Free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time. Free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time. Free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time. What do you want?
Dude, you see him? And he walks up there and he like smiles. And then he's like, get him out. Come on, let's go. Dude, they are on his ass. Trump is the Hitler of our time. Free DC, free Palestine. Dude, that is amazing. Dude, I mean, think about it. Guys, this is his big show, guys. This is his he's going out to the steakhouse. There were supposed to be people running up to him with tears in their eyes. Okay? You know Trump. He, like, saved DC. This is his big crime prevention thing. He's, like, turned public opinion around. He's looking at his approval rating, and he's going in there so people could come up with tears in their eyes saying, please, sign my wife's tits. Please, we love you so much. We love how you solve crime. You did so good for DC. Oh, we love you. Please sign my wife's tits again and use the signature from the Epstein book, right? The one with the little tail. Yeah, thank you. Make sure to sign the areola. All right, we love you, Trumpy. Oh, but no, instead they're like, you're Hitler. Fuck you. Dude, they fucked him up so bad, bro. Like, they fucked him up so bad. Talk about stealing his lunch money, dude. Homie went out there with a little theater production of like Trump is so great, and 𝗙𝗆𝗆 came in and they just fucking smashed shit pies right in his fucking orange, ugly ass face, bro. All right, here we go.
Trump is the Hitler of our time. Free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time. Free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time. Free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time.
Let's go.
He's terrorizing communities.
Let's go. Time to go.
He's terrorizing communities
Time to
all
go.
over the world.
Time to go.
From Puerto Rico.
Let's go.
Free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time.
Dude.
Trump is the Hitler.
So good, bro. Oh, shit. Dude, no, see, guys, he believe me when I say that he went out there and tried to like smile through it. But believe me when I tell you, he is not happy about that, guys. He is fucking bitter. Okay? He is bitter. And not like, it's not even about the name that they called him. Okay? what it is, guys, is he's bitter because they stole his moment. He had a moment planned, guys. I mean, you may have seen 𝗏𝗏, okay? Let me just show you, okay? Let me just show you guys. Look at this. Let me show you the 𝗏𝗏 here, because this is what's interesting, guys. You ready? Look at this. Look at this, guys. Hold on. We got to go to 𝗏𝗏. I'm gonna tie the room together here, because this was a Trump moment. This was designed. Look at this. This was the announcement at 7 p.m. Okay, the White House pool said the press pool is being loaded into the motorcade for destination unknown. They sprung this on the reporters, guys. This was a secret. This was a secret getaway of Trump going out, the man of the people, the guy who saved D.C. This was a big PR stunt that Trump sprung on the press pool to, like, distract from Epstein and, like, I'm the savior of D.C. I'm going to go out to Joe's and a bunch of the white people there are going to tell me how great I am. I'm going to get these clips for TikTok. And what did he get, dude? He got a bunch of women calling him Hitler and, like, causing him to, like, fracture his cool. All right? Oh my God, yes, they still infiltrated his moment. It was brilliant. He did get clips, but he didn't get the clips he wanted to clip. And this kind of shit really gets him. This shit grates him, okay? Because they sprung this specifically to, like, have this surprise hit and run of Trump in DC. And so what I wonder, guys, is who leaked it. Like, obviously, Code Pink, like, somebody found out. They have somebody, you know what I'm saying? They have somebody on the inside. Somebody leaked it, right, for them to get there. And I mean, it's possible that they have connections. When I think about it, it's possible that they have connections to like the wait staff and shit, you know, or the kitchen workers, like, to maybe get into these places. I would if I was them. If you want to be able to disrupt the politicians, you got to be able to get into their swanky little, like, private enclaves, right? But somebody had to leak that, because that was, you know, 6:51 p.m., right? And then the original Midas thing was at 7:18. So this was literally 27 minutes later, less than 30 minutes after they announced the motorcade and loaded everybody up. Like, they were already in Joe's. Dude, you think Vance? I mean, it could be Vance. It could be Vance maneuvering. I mean, I'll be honest, guys. Like I said before, everybody in DC hates Trump. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like, workers all over that city are, like, trying to fuck him over. Okay? They hate him, dude. They hate him, as they should. He's a degenerate scumbag, dude. And he doesn't care about DC. He could give two shits about DC. He fucking hates black people. Who are we kidding? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was beautiful. Had to get a reservation to be there. Yeah, I mean, unless you know the wait staff, right? Because I don't think they were dining, right? I don't think they were dining, you know? I mean, or maybe they were. Maybe it was just luck. Maybe they lucked out. But if you know the wait staff, you can certainly get in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can eke your way in. Where's Melania? Dude, Melania, I mean, she's MIA, dude. She has been MIA for a while. Oh, shit, dude, we hit the 10 at 10, though. All right, we got a dance party coming, dude. Should we do it now? You want to do who was the last one? That was Ashif. Let's go. All right, should we do the dance party now? We will, before we move on. All right, We're going to have a short one tonight. I'm going to try and make a couple videos, dude. I'm trying to make the videos like a little quicker, but it's hard, guys. When I make videos during the day, I get on Twitter and it's hard. I really enjoy being on Twitter. So, and being on Twitter is important too, because, you know, it is, you know, mingling and sort of growing on that platform. What's a dance party? A dance party is when people meet the goal. I dance to a performer from Sweden that we like, right? And Bongino, so somebody asked about Bongino. So Bongino had a bit of a fucking whatever 180 they took regarding the Epstein files bothered Dan Bongino. And so he went in and called Pam Bondi a liar. And Pam Bondi accused Dan Bongino of leaking shit to Fox News. And so there was a big inner conflict there with Bongino and Pam Bondi. And so what Trump did was Trump brought in a Bailey, Andrew Bailey, the attorney general from Missouri, who's a total MAGA shithead, loyal Constitution breaker to the core with no morals. And they gave Andrew Bailey the same role. Okay, so he is also deputy director of the FBI along with Dan Bongino. So they basically brought somebody else in to do Dan's job. And Dan is now like the fucking office space guy with the stapler sitting at a fucking desk down in the basement somewhere, right? Dude, let me see if I have the photo. I think I do. Yeah, here you go. There's Dan Bongino. Right, there he is. Let's go. Oh, shit. Dude, thank you, Danny. We appreciate you. Sorry that Andrew Bailey took your job, took your cubicle, banging your wife, right? Andrew Bailey's probably banging his wife too. Good night. Right? Dude, let's find out. Hold on, let's go ask Dan. Let's go ask him that question. Find one that doesn't have a lot of, I guess we'll do this one. Oh, I see his tag up there. Dude, what the fuck, dude? Hold on one sec. There we go. I think that's a fair question to ask, right? Dude, right? You know what I'm saying? Ask him, yo, speaking of summer heat, is Andrew Bailey banging your wife too now, Danny? Because he was talking about how he and his wife are sort of on tenuous ground. Dude, tweet face. Dude, the tweet face gets the best of me. I get a particular type of focus during fucking tweeting, right? I can't avoid the fucking tweet face. You don't get it? You don't get tweet face? Dude, I get tweet face. I get it a lot with my family. Like what'll happen is I'll be talking to them and then I start tweeting and like I go into a space, right? I go into a fucking space where I even check out of the conversation with my family. They get a little annoyed, believe me, And they have a right to, because I fucking dip in and out when I do that. But anyway, all right, let's do the fucking, I love this where it says Trump stares down protesters in DC safety showdown. Dude, he did not stare down protesters. Dude, Trump got fucking crapped on, okay? He got fucking crapped on, bro. He did. Dude, crapped on. All right, next up, though, we do have to look at the farmers, okay? That's the last thing we're going to look at before I go. All right, after, like I said, tonight's going to be a little bit short, so I could try to get ahead on videos. All right, but we did make the dance party. Let me get that going. All right, let me get that going. Let's go, let's go. All right. Dude, my body is still fucking sore, bro. Woo. Dude, from all that walking in LA, dude, I fucking took a beating, and I've been sleeping on the fucking hardwood floor in this office, right? These farmers, no, I know, the farmers, dude. This is interesting, though, because this is not even just the farmers that are stressed out about Trump's tariffs, but there's a scandal involving J.D. Vance that we do need to talk about, where Vance is involved in some shady ass shit, guys. And then we are going to look at a little TYT catch up too. All right. Excuse me. All right, you ready? All right, let's get this. We got to just gun it, dude. Sore body or no body. Oh, dude, I have a lot of gas, but here we go, baby. Let's get it. And no, that is not my band, though. That is Stefan Karlin from Sweden. This is my band. But that is not. Whoa! Dude, that was jamming, though. Let's go. Thank you, Shades. Appreciate you. It could be anything. Let's go. Woo! Yeah, no, that shit is good. Let's go. All right. All right. Whew. Never heard him before? Yeah, no, he's good. He's good. You're welcome, Melody. Thank you. All right, got to catch my breath. So, dude, we're gonna look at the JD Vance farmer scandal. However, one thing I want to do first is I have to see what Anna, TYT, her take. I have to see what they're saying about the Epstein files. Dude, I just have to know, guys. I do. I gotta know what they're doing because I feel like this is a really big scandal, and I know that I'm sure they're laying into David Pakman and all the dark money shit, which is hard because they don't really have a right to talk about dark money because they take right-wing money, which is even worse than taking dark money. I did hear a little bit about that 9/11 thing. I didn't fucking watch it, but I do want to check out their take on fucking, right? There's a video from her take that talks about the Epstein files. We're going to check this one out. They had 𝗙ście 𝗠𝗆 on their fucking show, guys. Look at this shit, bro. Look at this shit. They had 𝗙ście 𝗠𝗆 on. Like, what a fucking scoundrel. Like, how? Okay, this woman torpedoed like higher federal minimum wage. This woman torpedoed the Build Back Better, right? And so her take has 𝗙ście 𝗠𝗆. They're fucking gonna fucking smooch her ass. Like, bro, what the fuck are we doing here? All right. Let's watch a little bit of the 𝗙ście 𝗠𝗆. And then we're going to watch the Epstein files, which they did. They saved all the way for the end. All right.
Okay. So it's really interesting to kind of see this, public display of affection between Vladimir Putin and Narendra Modi. They were literally holding hands, which I thought was interesting. And the whole point was to kind of provide this public display of unity to kind of reaffirm their relationship. Obviously, you know, it's
dude, I gotta say, doesn't 𝗙ście 𝗠𝗆 look like Jillian Michaels? She kind of does, doesn't she? I know this panel, oof, is the right word. But dude, doesn't it look like they look like a fucking match pair, right? They do, dude. But think about this panel. This panel, I don't know where Amy Dangerfield is, but this panel is literally all Democrats who then sold out to become like corporate, like red pill hoes, right? Every one of them, dude. She like was fundraising for Biden. She was so excited about Kamala. Then the minute the election was over, she was like, I'm an immigrant and I've hated them the whole time, even though I defended them right up until like 2 hours ago. Anna was defund the police. And now she's like, oh my God, the homeless, crime. Don't call me a birthing person, right? Jillian Michaels like, I got gay married and I got Hollywood rich. And now fuck you guys, because she's transphobic as shit. And so now she's like, oh my God, fuck everybody. I got mine. Kyrsten Sinema ran as a progressive, bro. She ran as a progressive in Arizona. And then she turned into John Fetterman's fucking shaved left testicle. Okay. Now, I don't know what Amy Dangerfield is or where she stands, but these 4 women are just absolute fucking turncoats, right? Absolute turncoats.
It's a business type relationship. It's a trade type relationship. But, you know, Russian oil accounts for 40% of India's supply, and that is not a small amount. And Russia, I guess to show favorability to India, especially since it's willing to continue exporting oil from Russia, has discounted per barrel $3 to $4 for India specifically for the next 2 months. So, you know, Putin is looking to sweeten the deal for India. But I think what stands out the most about this, guys, is the fact that at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, again, hosted by China, you have Narendra Modi present. Narendra Modi was, kind of singing sweet nothings in China's ear. And to kind of give you context, India and China have not had a friendly relationship. Really what has happened is, Donald Trump's policies have essentially pushed India into China's arms, which is, I don't think, the best policy in terms of what you're looking for in the best interest of the American people.
Dude, it not only is it not the best policy, it's a fucking outright disaster. Like Trump's doing that with everybody. Everybody's going into everybody else's arms, right? Dude, yeah, it's not even policy. It's like being inept and making everyone hate you is like what's happening.
And by the way, we do rely on India for quite a bit of trade. Now, Trump is downplaying that, but India happens to be our 9th largest trading partner. We do rely on them for imports, including textiles, precious gems, steel, machinery, and more. So I'm curious what you ladies think about this, especially Senator Sinema, to be honest with you, because,
Dude, she's not a senator anymore there. Former Senator Sinema. Kyrsten Sinema, what is she going to say? She's going to say, oh, well, I hate the Democrats, right? Is that like, you think she's going to toss the Democrats, right? You think like Kyrsten Sinema is going to say something negative about the Democrats? I feel like she's going to. Man.
You spent time in the Senate. What do you think about how Trump has handled trade and, just geopolitical matters?
So I think a couple things to just kind of set the table for a conversation like this is to know that, President Trump doesn't have strong opinions on lots of things. But when he does have a strong opinion, he has that strong opinion. And he believes in tariffs, period. Trump believes in tariffs. And so...
there's a reason Trump believes in tariffs, because he can unilaterally control them. That's it. He doesn't believe in tariffs. It's literally the only mechanism he can unilaterally control. It's not that he believes in them. He doesn't even know how they fucking work. Okay? He just knows that he can threaten people and he can affect their bottom line independently. He doesn't need to ask Congress. He can change it 5 times in a day. Okay? That's it. He doesn't believe in them. They are just the most Trumpian tool he has.
The tariff conversation is not going to go away, and it's going to be shaped by his core beliefs. So that's the first thing I would say is you can be like, oh, I'm frustrated because of this impact of his decisions. That's fine. You can be frustrated, but Trump is going to Trump. He believes in tariffs. And so number one, knowing that he believes in tariffs and thinking to yourself, what does that look like in the context of these interactions that are not just about goods and trade, but as we see, also about geopolitics. So that's the first thing I would think about. The second thing I would think about is the efforts that the United States is making under this administration to increase domestic energy production, right? So,
dude, she is such a scoundrel. She is such a fucking scoundrel. Like, dude, are you hating her as much as I am? Because she is like smarming the Trump thing. She is. She's like, oh, Trump is gonna Trump. And like, whether you love him or hate him, he's gonna Trump. And now she's like going into like, oh, he's trying to increase domestic energy production. Dude, she is so annoying, bro. She is such an agent of bullshit. It's not even funny.
President Trump stood up a group called the National Energy Defense Council. It's headed up by Jared Agan, super smart guy, 100% focused on increasing American domestic energy production.
That's bullshit, because they canceled wind, they canceled solar. They're not trying to increase American energy production. They're not trying to set us up to be ahead of the world in new energy. What they're trying to do is they're trying to extract as much fossil fuel as they can out of the planet so Trump's buddies can hit the cash register and give them money. Dude, yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know why you're saying Ruben Gallego. I don't know if you like Ruben Gallego, but I'll be honest, I don't really like Ruben Gallego fucking very much either, dude. I feel like Ruben Gallego is a little, he's maybe not as bad as Kyrsten Sinema, but he certainly is nowhere near progressive. You know what I'm saying? Nowhere near.
To make us less reliant on foreign or volatile sources for energy. That's supported, of course, across the administration. Secretary Wright, Secretary Burgum, across the entire administration, Administrator Zeldin and others. So kind of thinking about those two things is really important to help situate this conversation, to know that it's not just about, oh, is India cozying up to China or cozying up to Russia? What do they need from them? What do they want from them? I mean, look, guys, it makes sense that the president of India is going to work closely with whomever is providing him with the greatest source of energy for his country. Like, he has to provide energy for his country. So that's not weird. That is what a leader does, right?
That's totally normal. I mean, I would expect that from India, but I have a follow-up question to that. Sorry, ladies, but I think this is important.
No, go, Anna. It's a very interesting. Keep going.
Dude, these women you noticed they have nothing to say? Dude, what is going on with Lindy Lee, bro? I feel like her head is getting larger, or she's using like a wide angle camera. Look at her. I think her head is doubled in size. She's got elephantitis of the fucking cranium. What's funny is how these three women are totally quiet because they don't know anything about what they're talking about, right? They're like, no, Anna, you go ahead, because we're all sitting here like Amy Dangerfield. I'm pretty sure she's on Amazon, like looking for pantyhose or some shit. She's like online shopping on Etsy, because these women don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. They're like, who's the president of India? What is India doing? Why are they talking to China? They have no fucking clue what's going on. Dude, no clue. They're like, domestic energy, is that like Pilates? Is Trump taking a Pilates course? Like, what's going on?
So when you talk about the need to increase energy production at home, I hear you. And I think most Americans think it works in a certain way where, you know, the country that produces the energy gets to benefit from it first and foremost. But as we know, certainly with the OPEC plus cartel setup, it's basically a global energy supply. So our oil companies or our natural gas companies can produce, you know, as much oil or natural gas as they want, but there's really no regulation stopping them from selling it on
internationally.
the international stage.
Absolutely.
And they're going to sell it to the highest bidder, right?
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to like overproduce, and then they're going to leech money off the people who need it the most. Okay? And they're going to go to the places that are having trouble getting it, and they're going to extort them is what's going to happen.
So how does that benefit Americans? Right.
I mean, that's the free market. So I mean, that makes sense.
Oh, she's like, that's the free market. Oh, that's the free market. No, it's not always the free market, right? It isn't, because it's like there are people, even in the market, there are people that like can't get access to it, right? Rate Anna out of 10. I give her a 2.5 because she's pretty fucking annoying.
What we have to do is create incentives for us to utilize our own energy in our own country, right? And with the advancement of AI and the race that we're in against China to dominate the AI war, right? I see this as a national security imperative. We are literally in a war with China to determine whether or not the globe is going to use American AI values or whether they're going to have to rely on Chinese Communist Party AI values, right? We don't win that war if we don't control the energy production. So if we can't produce enough energy.
Yeah, but this is stupid, because if you want to win the AI battle, you should be using wind and solar. Solar in particular is like so necessary for the AI battle. Digging out coal to fucking fuel your AI shit ain't gonna fucking win the battle, you fucking dumbasses.
Power the AI right here in our country, we will not beat China. And so you've got to think about both the capitalism here, right? Like you're going to produce energy and sell it to the highest bidder, but also the national security imperative of what happens if we don't win this AI war? What happens?
What happens if we don't raise minimum wage or get the people health care? What happens if I, 𝗙ście🗍🗍, just vote against every principle I had in the primary? What happens then to America and to the rest of us, right?
If China does become the leading AI voice and producer of AI tools for the globe. And so I think at that point,
all I can say is Chinese AI came up with the TikTok For You page, which was arguably before TikTok, part of it got sold to the Walton family. China's AI that created the TikTok For You was one of the greatest AI algorithms I ever experienced back in 2020, 2021. So I'm kind of thinking Chinese AI is probably better than ours. All right. Because you go on Instagram versus going on TikTok, and it's just night and day, bro. Right. The American AI, dude, now American AI 𝗙GPT is making it so you can't even talk about Donald Trump without it policing your language. Dude, they're way ahead of us, bro. They're way ahead of us.
Starting to talk to American energy companies about not just capitalism, which we all believe in, but also national security.
We all believe in. Fuck you, 𝗙ście🗍🗍🗍. I don't believe in capitalism. Capitalism sucks. Capitalism is like your face on acid, right?
Like, where does your loyalty and where do your priorities lie? And how can we induce incentives for American companies to produce more American energy through all the sources, right? We need every electron available. We need every bit of energy available that can be produced. We need it right here in our own country. How do we both create that financial incentive and help everyone understand the national security imperative?
You know what's fucked up though, guys? Is like, seriously, we are like, AI is going to fuck up the Earth's environment so badly. It is. The amount of energy and the amount of water it takes to use the simplest AI and the amount of heat this generates in an already like warming global space, like, it's not a good idea. Let me just tell you, it is not a fucking good idea. All right. It is going to take a lot. It's going to like hammer the environment a lot. You're right. Terrible idea. It is a terrible fucking idea.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. What about nuclear? Did you guys ever discuss nuclear in the Senate?
Yeah, we do a ton. So this is a big part of the NEDC's work, and I'm really excited. One of the things I'm working on now is I'm the chair of a group called the AI Infrastructure Coalition. My co-chair is former Congressman Garrett Graves of Louisiana, energy expert, genius. And we're actually working closely with the administration to increase nuclear production.
Oh, she's working closely with the Trump administration. Shocker. Her and some guy from fucking, right, from the South. Shocker. I'm shocked.
Modular reactors, investing in nuclear fission research, because that is going to be a very powerful and plentiful and clean source of energy for the future. But in the meantime, before we get there on nuclear, we've got to dramatically increase our production of traditional energy sources. So continuing to do work around natural gas, increasing like our oil production domestically, but also ensuring that we're making solar affordable. Like we've got to kind of use all of those energy sources together to fuel this future.
Senator Sinema, thank you so much for joining us today. I have a quick response to, or just a question to something that you just said.
Oh, here comes Lindy Lee. She's like, oh, here we come. Here comes brain death.
I am deeply concerned about the war between the United States and China in terms of AI.
Oh, she's deeply concerned. She's like Susan Collins level concerned.
And I'm just curious,
She's like, Kyrsten Sinema, hi, I'm Wendy Lee, and my head has nearly doubled in size since I've become a MAGA Republican. So my question for you is there any type of nuclear energy that can restrict the growth of my melon? Because my head is expanding at a rate that's making it untenable. Dude, where do I come up with this shit?
Another thing to say after this, though, but I wanted to get your thoughts on whether it's a good idea for NVIDIA to sell chips to China. Jensen Huang and Trump are in talks about selling, and perhaps the United States even benefiting apart from these sales. Is it really a good idea to give them this intel if we are locked in this conflict, this Cold War conflict with them in terms of AI? It definitely concerns me, especially with DeepSeek and everything that's going on. And it seems like China is pulling ahead in this tussle.
China's not pulling ahead. Dude, China is so far ahead already in like, you know, like variety of energy, in solar advancements, in wind, in harnessing energy, in batteries. Like, dude, AI, they are like already, by the time Trump gets done with us, China's going to be like laughing. They're going to be lapping us, dude. It's going to be like a pro racer racing against a fucking kid, dude.
But going back to the summit on the whole, I think one of the most significant things coming out of this is the fact that Slovakia, which guess what, is a NATO member, attended the summit. I think that is a tremendous deal because the NATO alliance is a famously Western alliance. It's led by the United States and it's shaped by the post-war order. Now we see Slovakia inching into China's arms, and they're even questioning whether they should remain in our alliance.
Dude, there's a question in there somewhere. She's going to have a 12-minute soliloquy, and then her question is going to be, do you think my head is abnormally large? Right? Or does my head look big?
So I think right now we have to be extremely careful about the bluster that we're exhibiting on the international stage because it might have a lot of unintended consequences, which is strengthening China's hand. I mean, Xi Jinping is looking he's gloating right now. He's getting chummy with so many people that we had tried to court over the decades.
I want to put a question. Oh, I'm sorry, Senator. Go ahead and answer that.
Go ahead.
Well, I want to put a question to all of you, given what all three of you have said thus far, right? If I'm looking at the broad strokes of this, what does Trump...
Yeah, Jillian's about to say, what do you think of slavery? She's like, are we still okay that slavery is cool? Right? Here comes Jillian. Oh, shit.
With Putin, he wants to end the war in Ukraine. He's tried diplomacy. It doesn't work. So now we're back to NATO buying weapons from us and arming Ukraine and going back to sanctions and secondary sanctions. But he tried diplomacy and it didn't work. Okay, now what do we want with India? Well, obviously, as Anna mentioned, they're a huge trade partner for us, but we also want to maintain balance in the world's power, right? So we want to empower India to keep China in check. And that's not working. So then I would simply say, what is an alternative strategy? Because if I'm Trump and he's trying diplomacy and that's not working, and he's trying sanctions and he's trying tariffs, all of these things, what do we recommend? Because these are real problems.
Yeah.
Good question. The United States is still doing business with Russia. So we could even restrict our own actions, but we're not willing to yet. Yeah. I think we definitely need to. We should have been willing 2 years ago, from my point of view. But the United States is actively doing business with Russia. We are still buying your stuff and thus fueling their war effort.
So we've got to really think about this from a multifaceted strategy, right? So Jillian, you said, okay, so we tried diplomacy and it didn't work, and then we tried sanctions and it didn't work. And the reality is that if you want to have an impact at the geopolitical scale, you've got to attack it from multiple angles and see it as a coordinated strategy rather than just a one-off here or a one-off there, right? And it's like so deeply American to be like, well, we did that one summit and it didn't work. The reality is, and you know this, when you're working on a strategy, it takes years to plan. It takes years.
Yeah, and then when you finally go to vote on fucking minimum wage, what does she do? Right? She's like, does a little curtsy. Remember with her fancy handbag? Dude, what a fucking, like, she is such a scoundrel. Dude, it's hard to listen to her talk about this. Talk about like coordinating strategy and how important this shit is when she literally sank every good thing. You know what I mean? And every good thing.
You've got to have like multifaceted elements. You've got to think about it from this like holistic perspective. And so I guess the one thing I would say.
Hold on. We gotta look at the clip, dude. I can't let it go. I'm being fucking obsessive right here, but we got to look at her. There it is. There it is. Here she comes in her fancy handbag. There she is. Look at her. $1,000 fucking handbag. She comes up and thumb down with a fucking curtsy, bro. What a fucking spectacle, right? Voted down $15 minimum wage. She made theater out of it, right? And it wasn't even just a vote. She came in her fancy handbag and she made a fucking production out of it. I'm not just going to sync it, but I'm going to sync it with a little dance move and then swat that off. Yeah. It was the COVID relief allows $15 an hour minimum wage in the bill, right? She fucking sank it. Dude, fucking hell, bro. She ran as a progressive, dude. Like, just unbelievable, man. And this is who Anna's now, like, fucking, like, polishing her knob, right?
Say is that as civilians, we might look and say, well, you know, he tried that summit and it didn't work, and he tried these sanctions and it didn't work. And something to consider is that, you know, maybe there's more going on than you read about in the newspaper or see.
Oh, look at that. Now she's fucking sane-washing Trump. She's like, oh, maybe there's more that we don't know about that's happening. Right? Dude, I can't watch any more of her, dude. We got to go watch the Epstein files. Dude, I can't watch any more of her. She is going to fucking piss me off. Dude. Oh my God, dude. She is fucking, she's out. I need a little hit of eucalyptus. I mean, there's going to be more of her, but let's go watch the Epstein thing. Excuse me. Oh, dude, what is going on with people in chatter? Some of you want to have sex with 𝗙ście𝗶𝗆𝗆. Is that what's going on? You want to have sex with the former senator? It's all right. It's all right. Nobody's going to eat your lunch for that.
And we're short on time. Get to me on the latest on Epstein, please. What's going on here? There's a lot happening.
All right, I got you. So,
It doesn't really matter, Amy. Does it really matter?
It doesn't, and that probably makes sense. That probably makes sense why it was requested that we don't cover this subject. But I think it matters, and personally, seeing the fact that the Trump administration has said, "Stop talking about Epstein. You are not my supporter. Go convert to Democrat if you want to talk about Epstein."
Dude, why are they always reading, dude? She's reading. She's like reading this off a fucking script, dude. Look at her. She's not interacting with the camera. Like, what is she fucking reading? And she's got the worst goddamn accent, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro? Jesus.
I think that usually when people tell you to look the other way and they do that so persistently, it usually means that there's something that we should evaluate a little bit further. Now, as we know, this cover-up has been going on for about 3 months now. Congress went and they took their recess, and I bet when they went away, they were hoping that everybody would just forget all about it, that we would be consumed with some other issue that would take preference in our mind, and we would stop talking about Epstein and we would stop caring about it. But fortunately, that did not happen. And 𝗙𝗪𝗪 and 𝗫𝗀𝗽𝗃 have been leading the initiative on this thing, really since this whole scandal broke out as soon as Trump called it a Democratic hoax. So last week, we actually saw the biggest news week when it comes to Epstein, basically since the year 2019. And that is in the sense that the DOJ actually dropped 33,000 documents pertaining to the Epstein files.
Dude, the DOJ dropped the same shit that everybody's seen over and over and over again. There's hardly anything new in there, man.
More on that in a minute. We also saw that 𝗙𝗪𝗪 and 𝗫𝗀𝗽 officially launched their Epstein Files Transparency Act. And to launch that, they actually held a press conference and private briefing at the Capitol with the survivors. So let's go ahead and start with the documents. Now, this one is really particularly interesting to me because they said that this was a hoax and there weren't any more documents. There wasn't any other evidence available. And yet, the day before the press conference and the private briefing was due to be held, they do this massive drop of documents, almost as if to say, hey guys, we don't need the Epstein Files Transparency Act because look at us, look at all of our transparency here. But let's call it what it is. This was absolutely not an act of goodwill. This was their attempt to divert focus away from 𝗪𝗪 and 𝗫𝗀𝗽's initiative. And not only that, but the
dude, her accent is so weird because it disappears and then it shows up. And then it disappears, and then it shows up, and it disappears, and then it shows up, and then it disappears, and then it shows up. And like, what in the actual fuck is with your accent? Your accent is so unfucking believably very strange, and it's gone, but it's here.
Documents that they released were basically repeats. I mean, many of them were still heavily redacted. It was basically a load of BS. So first and foremost, Connor, let's go ahead and play the video of 𝗫𝗀𝗽 on Fox News discussing that, please.
The House Oversight Committee tonight making more than 33,000 pages of the Jeffrey Epstein case records public. CNN has them. We've been going through them as we speak. So far, we've determined that they contain flight logs and court filings and surveillance footage. Now, there's reason to believe these are the materials the panel received from the Justice Department a little more than a week ago, which you'll remember Democratic Committee member 𝗫𝗀𝗽 said was just a fraction of what the DOJ actually has.
Our lawyers were up all night, and we now have a fact that only 3% of the documents that were given to us were new. 97% were already in the public domain. And less than 1% of the Epstein files have actually been released.
There you go. So this is exactly why 𝗪𝗪 and 𝗫𝗀𝗽 filed for the Epstein Files Transparency Act, because it's essentially going to order the declassification of every single government record pertaining to Jeffrey Epstein, aside from those that would implicate the victims' identities. So that's documents ranging from the CIA, the DOJ, the FBI, and the State Department. And here's the kicker, is they actually paired it with a strategic maneuver.
Dude, look at Jillian. Jillian's over here thinking she could beat up some trans people or something. She's like, right? She's not even listening. She's just like thinking about genital checking children in the bathroom, right? You know what I mean? Look at her face. She's like, oh yeah, I'm going to set up a new genital checking machine at my local fucking Target bathroom.
It's called a discharge position, which essentially, if the leadership tries to bury the bill, 218 signatures will force a floor vote, which will basically make everybody go on the record. So, you know, we can look back on this and see who was on the wrong side of history, who was trying to cover their tracks, who was trying to, you know, protect their house, essentially, because that's what's happening. And then on September 3rd, lawmakers brought Epstein survivors to the Capitol to put real faces to the fight, you know, in hopes that this would really kickstart the initiative and canvass for the signatures that they need to make this discharge position a reality. And so survivors stood shoulder to shoulder with 𝗙ecie, 𝗙𝗏, Anna Paulina Luna, and others, basically demanding that those in Congress sign. And we saw that, for example, Nancy Mace, she walked out of the private briefing in tears. She was visibly shaken and upset.
Dude, it's like the thing that's crazy about this is she's just going on a. I feel like she's now been talking for like 10 minutes, but she hasn't said anything, right? I mean, she's just giving a recap. She's reading like a fucking news recap of what has happened, but there's not even any commentary happening here. There's no like analysis. It's like, okay, let me just read you a 12-minute recap of what has happened. And 𝗏𝗏 went to the podium. He said a few things. There were some survivors there. Now, what's she going to mention? That the survivors said they're making their own list.
Go ahead and play that clip, please, Connor, if you have it there.
Oh, yeah. Nancy Mace was over.
Florida.
Oh, shit. Whoops. I accidentally shit-canned it. Let me get back to the thing. Nancy Mace was overcome with emotion.
CIA, the DOJ, they officially what her should that. We can go ahead and play that clip, please, Connor, if you have it there.
Yeah, Nancy Mace is all sad and broken up until she was defending the rapist and being a transphobic weirdo the very next morning.
I mean, that moment says a lot, and obviously the stories were extremely devastating. We do have a video here available, which is a snippet from the press conference where we can hear directly from one of the Epstein survivors herself. If we could play that, please, Connor.
I was just one of the many young women trapped in his orbit. I was even taken on a trip to Africa with former President Bill Clinton and other notable figures. In those moments, I realized how powerless I was. If I spoke out, who would believe me? Who would protect me? Epstein himself was the most powerful leader of our country. Epstein surrounded himself, with the most powerful leaders of our country and the world. He abused not only me, but countless others, and everyone seemed to look away. The truth is, Epstein had a free pass. He bragged about his powerful friends, including our current president, Donald Trump. It was his biggest brag, actually. And while what I endured will haunt me forever.
So, guys, as of last week, the petition has 206 signatures. So basically, every single Democrat has signed. And then on the Republican side, we have 𝗙ecie, we have 𝗏𝗏, we have Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace, and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Dude, 𝗏𝗏 is not a Republican, but thank you, Amy Dangerfield, for that scintillating analysis.
So there are still 2 more signatures that are required for the Republican side. I want to play Marjorie Taylor Greene's video in a moment where she's explaining
all right, let's
why
get to some commentary. All right.
Ever having this information see the light of merit to the end, like taking their pictures before even verifying what's inside of them. Like, I see through the farce. I think
all right, hold on.
I think they can fact that they never that the Trump administration, I don't know, kind of in a moment where she's explaining why she.
Dude, I thought she was going right to the clip. My bad. Dude, here we go.
Signature down. And obviously she has kind of diverged from the Trump administration on many things, particularly when it comes to any views on Israel and the way our foreign policy may be influenced, by that specific government. But before we do that, I just want to go on a little mini rant and say just how frustrating this is simply by the fact that the Trump administration campaigned on releasing these files. And yet now the Trump administration is the biggest bottleneck in ever having this information see the light of day. It's just so contradictory. And the fact that they really...
Ew, I wonder why they did that. Right, Amy? After 1,000 FBI agents looked for Trump's name for a month, and then all of a sudden they became contradictory. I wonder what could have happened. I wonder. 1,000 FBI agents go into the files. They redact everything with Trump's name on it. And after they finish doing that for a month, Trump is like, we're going to make sure nobody ever sees this shit. And I'm going to start calling it a hoax. I wonder what could have made that happen. Was it something he ate? Was it because an episode of Sesame Street made him very upset? Like, right? What could have possibly happened?
Riled up the American people and, galvanized the conservative base saying that we're going to get you the answers to these things. And then not only did they not give us the answers, but they called us stupid for asking for them, for believing them, when they're the ones who goaded us and basically campaigned on it, leading all the way up.
Dude, her accent's back.
Until Trump got elected. And not only that, but they tried to fake the fact that they did something about it with their ridiculous influencer stunt. Epstein Files Phase 1, where there was absolutely no information in there, and what was in there was heavily...
Dude, she's having her big moment. She's having her big moment. Let's let her roll.
Redacted, yet these influencers are proudly taking their pictures before even verifying what's inside of them. Like, I see through the farce. I think it's pretty obvious to everybody exactly what's going on. But Connor, let's go ahead and play this clip from Marjorie Taylor Greene, please.
It's pretty obvious. Okay, let's get to it.
Why she is signing this.
It's because Jeffrey Epstein somehow was able to walk among the most rich, powerful people, not only in America, but foreign countries. Yesterday, I heard countries like Saudi Arabia, Russia, and even Israel, and other countries. The truth needs to come out.
And other countries.
All right, I think we're good there. So, essentially, guys, there was also a CNN article. It's really important that we mention that too, because you may be wondering, well, where's all the Republicans? Why aren't they voting? I quote here, they actually said, a White House official said that helping 𝗙ecie and Democrats with their attention seeking, while the DOJ is fully supporting a more comprehensive file release effort from the Oversight Committee, would be viewed as a very hostile act against the administration. So,
dude, she has been on a 10-minute fucking diatribe. And I feel like I'm dumber. I feel like I am dumber than I was 10 minutes ago. Like, I feel like I know less about Epstein now than I did 11 minutes ago just by watching her talk, bro. My knowledge has dissipated. Dude,
why?
Exactly. Well, I possibly we know why. After the press conference, we also saw Anna Paulina Luna come out and say something that all of us have really known, or at least speculated about for a long time. So we can go ahead and play that video, please, Connor.
There's some very rich and powerful people that need to go to jail. I think everyone's been frustrated as to why that hasn't happened before. But it is very much so a possibility that Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence asset working for our adversaries. But also, too, I think the questions that we have is how much did our own government know about it? And so there's more to follow, and I'm sure you'll be hearing from the chairman momentarily. But I do applaud the victims from coming forward, because we heard from a woman who was as young as 14 years old.
So obviously it's very hostile because not.
Oh, she cut off the part where she talked about one of them being 13 years old.
Only does this implicate,
nice work.
Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, but potentially governments, and the fact that our government was working with other governments. This makes it on such a bigger scale that, of course, this would be deemed a hostile act to the administration. Just one more thing I want to mention before I throw it over to you ladies.
Oh my God.
Ladies.
Please.
Something really hilarious was obviously Mike Johnson coming out and saying that Trump was an FBI informant. I think he said during, when all of this was initially being prosecuted in 2019, and then Lindy, you sent to our group chat last night. He walked it back. Is that right?
He did. So ridiculous. One thing that I also want to add that broke over the weekend. So apparently the DOJ says that the names of 2 Epstein associates who he wired $100,000 to and $250,000 to should remain a secret. And I want to know why. Yeah, so the Justice Department request came after NBC News asked a federal judge to unseal the names of 2 people Epstein paid and helped protect from prosecution.
See, I'm really curious to see what 𝗙ście 𝗶𝗏𝗍𝗀 says here, right? I really am, because I feel like she's walking a tightrope. Like, I don't think she can really say much about this. You've heard her sort of glad-handing Trump this whole time, and I think it's part of whatever company she's working with that's trying to get a piece of the AI and the nuclear energy shit. I'm real curious if she's going to be glad handing him here too, right? There's something going on with her that she's a Trump sniff in a most serious way, dude.
So again, those 2 people, one of them, it was an associate of his who received $100,000. And then the second associate received $250,000, both in 2018, days after the Miami Herald began publishing a series of investigative stories where victims criticized a plea deal he received in Florida in 2008.
Oh, and what's more, in 2018, that's when Trump was president. And that's when the guy who gave Epstein the plea deal was Trump's labor secretary. Huh, that's weird.
Wow, why is the DOJ protecting co-conspirators of Epstein's?
I mean, that's a really good question.
But Amy, you guys know why. You guys know why. I mean, Amy just said it. It's everything we already know. The guy was intelligence, and no one's going to tell us that, oh yeah, our government and other governments use children as sex slaves to leverage power. No one's going to tell us that, guys. And I think when people push back, why do you want to know? Why do you care? Why does it matter?
Dude, she went right to the QAnon, right? She went right to the Pizzagate, boss. Jillian's like, you know why? He was intelligence. They're using children to leverage power, right? And who's they? We don't know, right? It's not Trump. They is Obama. Who is they, right? They, who is the they to Jillian Michaels, right? It's always they. It's like the red pillar's least favorite pronoun until they get into their fucking QAnon like fucking rant. And then all of a sudden it's like they.
How to move on. Well, that's 1, justice for the victims, but 2, because whatever the hell is going on with this, it is pure evil. And one would hope that sunlight would disinfect this and prevent it from ever happening again. But I think that is the reason we're never going to know. And
yeah, because of them. Them did it, right? Dude, I wonder who they think the they is. Does she think the they and the them is like, does she think trans people did this? Right? You know?
And last thought on this, and I didn't mean to hijack this, I apologize, but the last thought is what you said, Amy, when it's like, well, why did they just release the 3 minutes of video? I thought it didn't exist. How come we just got 30,000 more documents? What happened when Bongino and Patel sat there and like, nothing to see? No, killed himself. We're good. We've released everything. Everything's good here. Well, then why'd you hold back this stuff? It just, none of this makes any sense. And I think the reason it doesn't make sense is because it is a huge lever of power.
It's they, them.
For intelligence agencies, a variety of different countries around the world. That's what is just so gross, in my opinion.
Amy, I just want to say that was so well done.
Look at 𝗙ście 𝗶𝗏𝗍𝗀. She's going to chime in and say, you know, Trump has done wonderful things with nuclear energy. She's like, I really want to work with Trump on energy and AI.
Incredibly impressed. That was extremely comprehensive. And
oh my God, look at Lindy Lee. She said, Amy, I'm so impressed with you reading that ChatGPT diatribe about this wonderful reading.
Power for until so gross, in my opinion.
Amy, I just want to say that was so well done. incredibly impressed. That was
job,
extremely
Ames.
comprehensive. And I want to point you to something. I don't know if you saw, again, you did that so well, but did you see the clip of the press conference and the fighter jets were flying across as the women were trying to talk and name names? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't even get the word out because the fighter jets were so loud. I mean, it was perfectly timed. So that's something to look into.
Oh yeah, perfectly timed. Yeah. Now, what are we going to look into that, dude?
And something else that Anna brought up this weekend with a group, Anna, do you want to talk about the quote? I think one of the ladies said that people who are implicated are in the cabinet.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
You sent that, right?
I don't have it in front of me though. I want to read the exact quote. Do you have it by any chance?
I do. It was we've been texting a lot. I thought it was Anna had the good sense to send this. This was in the Ghislaine Maxwell transcript with Todd Blanche.
Yes.
She said verbatim, "If you met Epstein, there is no way that this cast of characters, of which is extraordinary, and some are in your cabinet, who you value as your coworkers." Bear in mind that she's talking with the second highest ranking official at the Department of Justice, after which she was moved to a lower security prison, actually with Elizabeth Holmes. So a lot of victims are now very upset that she is receiving preferential treatment.
Dude, 15 minutes in, and I'm ready to step behind my computer setup and put my head right through the double pane window.
After her interview with Todd.
All right.
Well, go ahead.
Kirsten.
I just a couple very quick points. One, a discharge petition is really, really hard to get 218 signatures on in the House. Very hard, because it requires not only bipartisan cooperation, but it, as you noted articulately, it requires kind of going against leadership in whichever party is in charge. You know, I served in the House for 6 years, and never once during my time in those 6 years did a discharge petition make it to the floor. So the fact that they are within 2 or 3 signatures of getting this discharge petition done is a big, big deal. So I just want to say, you know, big props to 𝗙ecie in particular for getting that far. It's very difficult to do. Number two, once the discharge petition does get 218, it's not like the vote's going to happen right away. There's still a lot that leadership can do in terms of like stretching out when the vote's going to happen. It's like the first Tuesday of a month, and it's, you know, so it can still take a long time to get this to a vote. So I think that's important for people to know that once they hit the 218, it doesn't mean it's going to happen right away. There's still a lot of kind of bureaucracy and tools that leadership can use.
Dude, the crazy thing is there's no reason it should not hit 218. It's fucking redonkulous.
And then number three, I would say, you know, there's kind of 2 schools of thought that are happening in the House right now. There's the Sunshine is Disinfectant group, right? So that's like the Thomas Massey group. And then there's the group that says, well, we should disclose what the judiciary says or what the DOJ says is appropriate to disclose. Those are 2 very different political perspectives and positions.
Yeah, dude, she has some ring shit going on, dude. She is fucking...
And so it'll be interesting to see what actually happens. You know, I tend to come from the more 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗀 philosophy here, which is like sunshine is the disinfectant. Just get it all out there.
Dude, she comes from the 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗀 section. Like, wow. Dude, she comes from I'm from the MAGA turncoat lying fucking Russian paid, right? Dave Rubin's secret beard girlfriend. Fucking what the fuck, bro? She literally dropped 𝗙sie's name. This woman's not a Democrat. She was never a Democrat.
Let people see what it is.
Senator, can you game out for me the other perspective of like, let's just release what the what is the logic there other than to hide really evil shit? What am I missing?
So first of all, let me just say, I think that most members of Congress who hold that perspective, what I would call the more kind of conservative, I don't mean that with a big C. I mean like, you know, traditional conservative perspective, like don't disclose everything. Those aren't all bad people, right? Like members are good people, just like all of us. But if they're being told by the administration or by leadership to not disclose everything for undisclosed reasons, many people are going to say yes to that because that is how authority and leadership works in our country. You know, one of the reasons that that I was known for being me was that I just wasn't good at saying yes to what leadership told me to do.
Oh my God, dude. She was known. No, 𝗙ście𝗋𝗯𝗡, what you're known for is not disobeying leadership. What you're known for is sinking the biggest fucking bills that the party had worked on and crafted, right? You're known for running on one platform and then going completely against what you ran on to the point of where you lost your fucking job. That's what you're known for. She's like, oh, don't listen to leadership. Not a puppet is the way she's coming at this. Wow.
And so, you know, that's unusual. That's an unusual trait. And it doesn't last for longevity. Right. So many people just trust their leadership. And again, I don't want to be disrespectful in any way to those individuals because these are people I care about and my friends. But
they're her friends, dude. Nobody likes her.
They're probably being told, my guess, that there are national security reasons or there are other reasons for which you don't want to have complete and total disclosure. And
again, dude, she polished Trump's knob. Yeah, you notice how she threw that in? Don't last for longevity, AKA she got the fucking boot right away for being a degenerate. But did you notice she ended up polishing Trump's knob? She essentially offered up this mythical, these people are like, you know, probably being encouraged by leadership. They're really good people that would never do anything dishonest. So leadership must be explaining to them the national security risk if we go forward with this. So they're really doing, you know, a really good job at not releasing this. There must be some reason not to. Boy, dude, she just stroked it, bro. She just stroked it. It is glistening.
Again, I would say the corollary I would kind of reflect you towards is what 𝗙ście is doing as the director of national intelligence. Full disclosure.
Oh my God, 𝗙ście again.
𝗙ście and I came into Congress together. We're very good friends.
Oh my God, her and 𝗙ście are very good friends. She's very good friends with the former Democrat who sold her soul to be a fucking Trump sniff. That makes all the sense in the world, right? That's like her only friend probably in Congress is like, dude, Lindy Lee after the show is going to be like, Kirsten, can I be in that club? Please, I'm a turncoat too. Dude.
What she's doing in terms of like...
Dude, look at Anna, dude. Anna's like, I will fucking destroy 𝗙ście. I will build a hotel on the ashes of 𝗙śie's grave. Dude. Oh, shit. Dude, she has not blinked in like fucking 7 minutes.
Declassifying information, showing the history of stuff. That is very controversial to do as a member of the cabinet. But what she's doing is, I think, what the American people want and deserve. And so, again, going back to like your points around kind of the differing perspectives, it's really like sunshine is disinfectant, or, you know, leadership has reasons that are not disclosed that they don't want this shown.
Yeah, leadership is like, our leader is a pedophile who raped a bunch of kids with Jeffrey Epstein, was trafficking women with his modeling agency, and is deeply involved in this shit, and we really can't let the world know that, or we'll never win a fucking election again. So that, I mean, it's pretty obvious. 1,000 FBI agents, they find Trump's name, the whole thing goes right in the desk drawer, right? Dude, she is polishing the Trump knob. Like, dude, his knob is going to be shining like chrome after this.
I mean, and also look at Thomas Massie. Look at the war that has been waged on Thomas Massie, one of the only, if not the only, genuine, not bought and paid for Republican members serving in Congress right
True
now.
libertarian.
Yeah, they're launching the full force of AIPAC, of, you know, everything against this man, and it's kind of like a warning shot to everybody else.
Dude, Anna is like, dude, is she gonna say anything? Anna is so checked out here. Why is she not saying anything?
else in the Republican Party, all the other members of Congress that, hey, you want to step out of line, like you said, it can be a dangerous thing to do. You don't stick around very long when you oppose leadership.
Dude, look at her. She thinks she's a big rebel over here.
You know that firsthand. And so
yeah, the difference is Thomas Massey could run again and he would win. Okay, she would not have won. There's no fucking way she would win. She'd have to become a Republican.
I think all of these other Republicans are looking at Thomas Massey, looking at the war that's being waged against him, and they're like, well, I don't want to step out of line, you know?
Amy, that's exactly right. And in this case, there's an additional catalyst, and it's the threat that the victims are making. If Congress doesn't step up, we're going to release our own list. They've been saying,
I love that. That is very cool.
Incredibly powerful, and it hasn't been vocalized before. And honestly, I hope they do.
Sunshine is the disinfectant.
All right.
Sunshine is the dude. Anna didn't say a word, bro.
I'm going to move us on. Unless we have any final thoughts, we have to express on this one.
Dude, Anna said nothing, dude. There's a little too much 𝗙𝗪cy worship, right? Dude, Anna was mute. Cat's got her tongue, bro.
And I think we've got time for one more, unless I get a text from our producer here saying no.
I think we got to close out, no?
Yes, because
just turn the phone over, Jillian. Then you don't get the text.
I know. All right, Justin, am I moving on or am I doing the Florida vaccine situation? Let's see what I get back. Am I closing? Hold on. We should be closing soon. Wait, gotta wrap. All right, we gotta wrap. That's a bummer. Senator, thank you so much for...
Dude, I feel dumber. All right? I feel dumber. I mean, I'll be able to make a piece of content out of that, but holy shit, bro. Dude, this is like... It's rough, bro. Dude, it is rough, boss. Who uses text messages as a producer? Dude, this is like... It is crazy. Oh my God, dude. Dude, when did Anna attack 𝗙ście𝗶𝗏? Dude, I'm gonna have to find that. I think there's a spot somewhere in there. People are talking in the comments about Anna fucking attacking 𝗙ście𝗶𝗏. Let's see if we can find it.
Historically, it's been, Congress makes these decisions with the, assent or guidance and cooperation of the president. But Congress has ceded its authority in not only this area, but many other areas for decades. We've all seen this, right? That Congress just chooses.
I want to see some fighting.
We live.
Well, some would argue that what Trump is engaging in with his tariffs is, a financial attack. And it is interesting.
They said she handed her ass to them, but I've not seen it. Look at that.
That's crazy.
There's Lindy.
Things, though, the primary beneficiaries of the stock market surge aren't the people that Trump is reporting to help.
Dude, they're such clowns.
Like what? And I think maybe phones, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not going to settle down. You can't wait 6 months and be like, oh, things will go back to normal. This is the new normal. Okay, so that's kind of the larger issue of.
I'm not seeing it.
Doubt are drug traffickers. They're causing.
Okay, so that's point number one.
Point number one
is far better.
Amen. very
Okay,
clear. And
we're
remember what
getting on
happened?
regime
Wait, Jillian,
change,
I have to
though.
say this. I know you're like upset
No.
with, disagreeing
I'm
with
not
me
upset.
today,
I'm
but
not
I have to
upset.
make this clear.
I'm trying to present both sides of it. I
No,
think
but
that's
I
important.
said at the top that I'm actually sympathetic to Trump's targeted war on.
And we're short on time. Get to me.
Dude, it's painful. All right. Dude, I'm not seeing it. I am not fucking seeing it. I did notice that Wendy Wee's head is about 3 times the size it was the last time we watched that. I don't know that I'm going to be watching much of that show anymore because it just keeps getting worse, right? It keeps getting worse, dude. All right. I only have one thing left to talk about here. That is a little bit of this JD Vance controversy, okay? Which obviously has to do with the farming. So here's what we got, guys, okay? Here's what we got is we've got
a company called Acre Trader.
All right. Let's watch a piece of news here. Okay? So there are multiple things going on here. Okay? Obviously, the investment in Acre Trader is one of the things that is causing a bit of a stir. Okay? They're now, listen to me, guys. Going into this, I would like to preface what we're about to talk about with one of the chief concerns about Trump being in office in general is Trump is a 1% real estate guy. So for somebody like Trump and the people in his sort of cash register circle, the best thing that can happen to these guys is to crash the economy. Okay? The economic crashes are brilliant for wealthy real estate people. Why? Because sure, all their investments in stocks and shit tank, but they have so many of them that they can still borrow on that money anyway. And when the economy crashes, the interest rates go down, right? And then what happens is they can buy up all the failed businesses. They can buy up all the real estate at like pennies on the dollar. And then everything springs back eventually. So economic crashes benefit real estate people always. Okay? Always. They like, it is like a huge boon for them. Okay? That's why they literally engage in behavior consistently that fucks up markets, because that's how they make the real money. Okay? That's how they make the real money. It is a serious benefit. So with that in mind, we have these Trump tariffs that are now fucking up the farmers. And it's fucking up the farmers in a multitude of ways. Because one, there's companies like John Deere that make all the equipment they use that are getting tariffed for the parts used to make their machinery, really important machinery. So they're laying off people, jacking up prices. Then anything they're importing, any chemicals, right? A lot of chemicals get imported. So the chemicals they use, right? A lot of the equipment they're using has stuff that's getting imported. All that's getting jacked up. And then a little ancillary side benefit is because Trump is pissing off all the trade partners, nobody's buying their shit. So not only are they paying more for their materials, they're paying more for their equipment, nobody's buying the shit they are producing. So they're producing a bunch of shit that costs them more money to make it, and it's just fucking sitting there. And now a bunch of people saw this one particular farmer today who was freaking out about it. Okay, it's a TikTok that was going around, which was, let me see if I can find him. It is... Dude, where is it? I literally, I think I saved it. Oh, I thought I saved it. I can't find the one guy. I guess we'll watch this guy. Okay, we can watch this guy. There was another guy, though, who was a younger guy with like a fucking hat on.
Dire situation.
Okay, there was another guy. It had some music on it, though, so maybe it's a good thing I can't find it. But so let's watch a farmer. All right. This is from a couple days ago, 2 days ago. This is a farmer talking about the situation, all right?
Right now, we're in a very dire situation. September's upon us. Harvest is starting in the deep south, and we have 0 bushels of soybeans on the books to be sold to China for this current crop that's about to come out of the field. Historically, over the last 5 years, about a third of soybean sales to China would be booked. China amounts to 25% of our total U.S. soybean crop. So that would be 8 or 9% of the whole U.S. crop would normally be on the books with China right now, and we have 0. That is alarming. The farm economy as a whole is struggling. Inflation has caused our cost of production to rise drastically on every front. Commodity prices, in particular soybeans, are down about 50% from where they were 3 years.
Ouch. Dude, their crops are worth 50% of what they were worth. That's before the tariffs effects on their costs, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like, holy shit.
And our numbers are deeply in the red. And we send this letter to President Trump because we've been talking for months about needing to have sales in place, a deal in place,
Yeah, well, let me just tell you this, you fucking piece of shit. You voted for this guy, and we told you. And yeah, you'd vote for him again, even though he's fucking you. Why? Because he'll probably just give you some free money. He'll give you some fucking welfare so you can go hate the people on Snap, you fucking disingenuous shitters. Dude, they're scumbags. Okay, because he'll fuck them, and they would vote for him anyway.
Phase 2 type agreement that has purchase commitments along with a level playing field on trade with no tariffs, and we haven't had anything happen, unfortunately. And our appeal to President Trump and his administration is make soybeans a priority in any trade negotiations that are taking place.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we voted for you and we're fucked now, but please, like, do us a solid.
Soybeans are the #1 agriculture export to China. And in the last trade war, it was 71% of the losses that we had as American farmers. And they're critical.
Yeah, so if we look at...
Yeah, so what's funny about it is do you see what he said right there? He said in the last trade war, it was 71% of our losses. So they're critical. Well, guess what, guys? You know who was president during the last trade war? Donald fucking Trump, right? And they voted for him again. He fucked them already, 71% of their losses. And they vote for him again. And they're like, oh, please help us again. Oh, shucks, I just stuck my dick in a corn husk. Please come save me, Trump. Oh, shucks, I'll lick your butthole clean if you just buy some soybeans. Goddamn. Goddamn. Oh. Dude, what the fuck?
And we're going to divide. So I'll stay with grain and oilseeds because that's what I do day to day. But I just have to say one thing about livestock. For livestock folks, we're in good world for them right now. So I'd love to be able to have as good a world that they're having in GNO, but we just don't. And so there's just so many things, and it's really a supply story this year. When you think about across the globe, we haven't had a year where every country's almost saying all 8 cylinders where we're getting full production. And that's where we are right now. It's also too a bit of a dichotomy in the US is that we're building corn stocks, but the world is not. It's just the opposite in soybeans, where the world's building soy stocks and we're not. And so it's a very weird world, but the fact is we just have so much supply in the world, that's just going to keep prices, really on the defensive.
Yeah, and what's more, though, you have a whole bunch of supply in the world and nobody's buying your shit because Trump has pissed off every trade partner. But here's where it gets interesting, though, guys, because we have the one story. Yeah, these farmers are idiots. They voted for Trump. He fucked them the first time. They voted for him again. He's fucking them again, right? He'll probably at the last minute put his little Epstein signature on there and send him some free money, give him a little bit of that farmer's welfare, right? And he'll make it through, and they would be willing to sink their goddamn future again, voting for some other fucking Republican. But that's one side of it. But the other side that's nefarious is that they've invested in that AcreTrader company. So you have JD Vance and you have some of these other Trump admin people who have invested in a company that buys foreclosed farm property, guys. So what's going to happen here? The trade war has dropped the price floor. Soybeans are worth 50% of what they were. Their costs are increased because of the tariffs on the chemicals, on the John Deere equipment, on everything they use. So these farmers are fucked. Many of them are going to lose their farms, their businesses, their loans. Those properties are going to go into foreclosure. And what happens then? The company that JD Vance and some of these other Trump people have invested in AcreTrader, it's going to come up and it's going to start buying those foreclosed farms on the cheap. Okay? Isn't that crazy? He's like demolishing the farms so they can profit off the demolishment of the farms. Okay? Let's look at somebody talking about this real quick.
I just found out that JD Vance opened a little company called AcreTrader. And what does AcreTrader trade? That's right, farms. All right, the same farms that are being foreclosed due to what? Oh, that's right, the horrific tariffs that have literally bankrupted them. Oh, and AcreTrader specifically markets to who? Investors and conglomerates overseas. That's America first. Bankrupt the people that live here, work here, and pay taxes here. So you can go ahead and make money off of their desperation and their, I don't know, their stupidity for voting for your administration. And then make billionaires and millionaires overseas billions and millions of dollars.
All right. I like it. I like the energy. He wasn't really looking at the camera. I'll give him a B- there with the thing. But dude, that's fucked up. Okay? So here we are. JD Vance funded AcreTrader. Okay? It's a real estate platform. Streamlines investing in U.S. farmland. Okay? For farm foreclosures. Okay? Some of the most pristine farmland in California can be yours in just a matter of minutes. That's a promise that AcreTrader, a company with the mission of simplifying investing in valuable U.S. farmland, makes to prospective financiers. Now, what's crazy about this, what I think that guy was alluding to, is that guy was alluding to the fact that the money that is being invested to buy these farms is coming from overseas, right? That is what the suggestion was by that content creator who was talking about it. That AcreTrader is getting funding from non-American sources to buy up American farmland after it forecloses. Okay? So JD Vance invested $65,000 in AcreTrader during his stint as a venture capitalist. There are other people that are invested in this thing. What's fucking, I mean, dude. And what's more though is even if it's not a 1-to-1 where JD Vance is specifically profiting off this, it's like he is making money for friends that are then right, you know what I mean? He's like scratching the back of these people in exchange for them scratching his back over here. Okay? So let's find out a little bit more about AcreTrader. Yeah, scratching some backs. Oh, this is the guy. Oh, no, that's not the guy. That's the other guy. All right. Yeah, there it is. I mean, that's what it is, right? Trump bankrupts the farms. Okay. He fucking affects the price of the crops, tariffs the fucking equipment, bankrupts the farms. Then JD Vance, and they're not buying it, but what they are is they're the app that gets that farmland to foreign investors. Okay. So they're just the middleman. Okay. They're not right. But even then, they're selling the land to foreign investors. These are the America First people, of course. Okay. That Acre Trader helps investors outside the United States buy real estate here. Okay. Right. And then they're owned by people that don't even fucking are never even going to step foot on the property. Okay. Never going to step foot on the property. Now, this is my least favorite part about capitalism, guys. And it goes beyond even this shit with like foreign investors, even to the stock market. Because I believe one of the most destructive forces in American capitalism with our stock market and these boards of directors is the fact that you have companies that there's workers at those companies generating huge amounts of wealth. And that wealth is controlled and dictated by a small group of people that own the stock in that company. So every decision that is made in that company is made by the stock people that are essentially just leeching all the money, all the wealth out of the company, and nothing ever goes to the people who generate it. So the entire shareholder system is like allowing wealthy people to be leeches or vacuum cleaners that suck the wealth out of the people that are creating it. Workers create the wealth, shareholders extract it. And then shareholders make decisions that affect the workers, the amount of work they have to do, how many jobs are available. They restructure the company, they take away the benefits, yada, yada, yada. The workers put up with the changes and continue to generate wealth, and the shareholders just suck it out. You know what I'm saying? It's a really destructive system that, and the way you become a shareholder is you just buy into it. You don't have to be skilled. You don't have to know anything about the business. You don't even have to like the business. Sometimes the shareholders destroy the business and then they just part it and break it up and sell it, and they profit off the sale of it. So the whole fucking thing is like the entire system is predatory and exploitable from that small amount of wealthy people that just get to control all the wealth consistently. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Dude, it's fucking brutal.
Wonder how long it's going to take the Republican farmers to realize that Trump and JD Vance bought stocks in companies that buy up land, aka farmland, and they made the tariffs so that you would lose your land so that they could buy your land and make money. No bailouts are coming.
Dude, I like her energy. That was a good one, dude. She was vibey, right? Dude, what the fuck is going on, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, it's so blatant. See, that's the thing that bothers me, guys. The shit that bothers me about this is that this time around, everything in Trump land is blatant. It is blatant. The corruption is blatant. The fascism is blatant. The targeting, whether it's universities or you know, a Fed chair or somebody who took Trump to court, it's like the targeting of people is so blatant. It's so obvious. The throwing a 30-year sentence at somebody who did nothing. It's like everything is so blatant. The scamming, the crypto scams are so blatant. The lies, the denials, the gaslighting of shit we see right in front of us. Everything is so blatant. The disrespecting of the Constitution and trampling on our civil liberties. The whole thing is like blatant and obvious and being flaunted right in front of our fucking faces. And I'm telling you guys, I want a fucking 9-iron. Oh! Right? But right now, I'm going to go make some videos. I'm going to go be blatant with my own shit. You ready? You ready? Let's fucking get some music going. Let's get edit mode going. We're going to fucking kick some ass of these motherfuckers. Dude, headbutt Trump.
This is it, I'm tired of explaining. It's too late because everyone is waiting. That's great, so why are you complaining? You're on blue. If I'm unsure, will anybody notice? It's my fault because I love you on purpose. I'm insecure, or just a little nervous.
You're on blue. You knows you're on blue. When every bruise looks good on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue. When every bruise looks good on you. All right, guys. Keep it real, baby. I will see you tomorrow. You're on blue. Good night.
So provoking, I forgot to mention. Are you joking? I need some attention. And nothing's working, so change your direction. You're on blue. Who knows you're on blue? When every bruise looks good on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue. When every bruise looks good on you. Why won't you hold my hand? Are you gonna deny this? Do the best you can. I haven't got a plan, but I'm gonna survive this. That's just who I am. When you're on blue, you keep everything inside of you. You try to play it cool. Sometimes you gotta break the rules. I don't know why you're confused. All you need is a little bit of attitude. Yeah. This is it. I'm tired of explaining. It's too late because everyone is waiting. That's great. So why are you complaining? You're on blue. If I'm unsure, will anybody notice? It's my fault because I love you on purpose. I'm insecure or just a little nervous. You're on blue. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Hey, hey. Starting to enjoy the view. I'm all about the attitude. Knows you're on blue. When every bruise looks good on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue. When every bruise looks good on you. Freedom. Yourself, yeah. I have to clean up the mess.
obsessions, always jumping through. I'm so tangled, I'm so worthy. I'm just lost in my reflection. Pay attention.